Well, we have a caller now, Mr. Satish, content writer. Hello, Satish.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Satish. Thank you so much for joining us on live.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, yes, Mr. Satish. Well, about 1.5 billion children globally are out of school due to COVID-19. What could be the effects of this?
See, this is an unforeseen and unexpected pandemic which has hit the entire world. So everyone has been affected, and no doubt the students, the teachers, and parents also are badly affected.
Right.
This lockdown was started in India, announced in India, in the mid-March.
Right.
That was a very crucial time for most of the students appearing for exams.
Right.
So some students could appear, some even couldn't sit for the exam.
Right.
The hard work what they put in for the entire year, preparing hard for the exam, was absolutely in vain.
Right.
They couldn't even appear for the exam, and more importantly, in some states, they were asked to pass the students basing on the internal marks. So that was a kind of unsatisfaction with most of the students were not satisfied with the results, because some students were absolutely have done very well in assignments and did well in exams were expecting a better result what they didn't expect. So certainly some class of the students also were not satisfied with the way marks were allotted. But
Right.
yes, looking at this pandemic, that was the only option left with the state, with the board.
Right.
To devise an option of seeing to that no exams will be conducted in this particular time, and the marks been allotted or basing on the assignments and what the project they have done.
Right.
Yes, right now the exams been done, and most of the schools have started the academic year for the next year, and the studies are started on online mode. Now
Right.
students have started to appear online for the daily classes, and so are the teachers also preparing for the same.
Right. Also, Mr. Satish, well, is technology designed for responsible use and to prevent addiction?
See, technology has been designed to do things better in a proper way, to get things done correctly. But too much of use of technology also certainly affects your health and doesn't go about well with the current with your health in particular.
Right.
Because, for example, you take a phone or you take a laptop,
Right.
constantly you keep sitting for 8 hours or 10 hours in front of it. It's certainly going to affect your brain, your eyes.
Definitely.
And so that would lead to more health issues. So certainly, yes, technology has to be used at a certain time, and certainly as you give breaks to your studies and time, certainly technology also has to be phone, gadgets, or also need to be used in a time-phased manner so that
Right.
it doesn't affect your health. But now what is happening, we are constantly with laptops or phone for this online teaching, which is absolutely not advisable as per doctors and medical experts. Because constantly you're on the phone or on the laptop, it's going to adversely affect your health.
Yes. Well, yes, Mr. Satish, as you're talking about the online education, I would like to ask you, what are the advantages as well as disadvantages of online classes?
The advantages are it's a good thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing. You learn things online, but the other thing is that the more now what is happening in one house, for example, there are two students.
So you mean to say that you support online education?
To some extent, yes.
Okay.
To some extent, yes, that can be used online, but not for a longer run. Because now, as per the current situation,
Right.
since you can't have a virtual class and you can't see the students online,
Right.
you can't get students to the school. This is the option of keeping things moving and teaching them using an online mode. But yes, not for a longer run. Once the vaccine is out and things are coming slowly but steadily come back to normal, then you can probably have a virtual class. But yes, the need of the hour is going for an online mode of teaching and online mode of learning.
Right. Also, Mr. Satish, what are the long-term effects of e-classes on students as well as parents and also teachers? As we all know that students, parents and teachers are playing a major role in online classes. What would you have to say on this?
Can you just come back to the first question, please?
What are the long-term effects of e-classes on students, teachers as well as parents?
See, right now online teaching is happening, but there's only interaction between a student and the teacher.
Right.
There's no interaction between the fellow colleagues, the fellow your friends who sit along with you in your class.
Right.
What used to happen earlier, a diagram is drawn, a problem has been explained on the board.
Right.
There would be some kind of a practice. One of the students was asked to come and write about it and explain about it.
Right.
And give the steps of how is he solving the problem and what is the method and the formula is being used.
Definitely,
But
and now
what is
the
happening-
complete scenario has been changed because of these online classes, you know.
Yes, now the time limit is also limited. It's 35 or 40 minutes. You can't expect a student also to talk about it, explain how is he going to solve the problem and how is he going to write the answer. He
Right.
only has to listen, write point, keep notes ready, and maybe ask his doubt. Sometime when he meets the teacher virtually, or maybe call up the teacher.
Right.
So the interaction between the fellow students or fellow colleagues is not happening. It's only a conversation which is happening between the teacher and the
And the
student.
students, that too online, not virtually.
That too online, not
Yes.
you're not meeting your fellow, because every student, remember, has got a different idea.
Yes.
A particular topic has been talked about or thought about. Every student's way of thinking towards the topic, way of ideas, way of putting it on paper or board is completely
It's
different.
completely different,
So-
exactly.
So the ideas what a student has is not coming out then and there.
Right.
Probably he's got a better idea of explaining that particular problem or writing the answer or illustrating that example. But
Right.
that is not able to put in. He's not able to discuss with that with his friends. See, I'll tell you, when you go for an exam in the morning, you have 1 hour before the exam.
Right.
That is what will happen generally to students.
Right.
They tend to discuss between each among them. Did you learn that? Did you learn this? Did
Right.
you study this? So that kind of conversation is missing out now.
Right.
And with virtually everything doing online, and parents are also not advising the children to go and meet their friends or the classmates
Right.
and have what you call sit out together and study. That is also not advisable.
Right.
So virtually the interaction between students, fellow students is not happening. It's only interaction between the teacher and the students. I mean to say, the teaching is going on, but the kind of interaction and openness is not happening right now.
Yes, also that will affect the students' health also and mental health also. What do you think of it?
Yes, because the growing children need to be more mingled with the colleagues, their friends, or the age limit. Because
Exactly.
parents
Now
are certainly there.
they have no they have no conversation or contact with their colleagues or friends like that. So it's really difficult for their it will affect their mental health.
Yes, absolutely. Because what happened earlier, like every day you used to come to school, interact with colleagues, interact with friends, seniors, classmates, batchmates. Now, how do they interact? Only on the phone,
Right.
or only on the WhatsApp call? It's something like they're not meeting each other physically, and that is not advisable in many cities and many towns now also.
Right.
It's only social distancing been asked to follow, and that is what is hitting them, because students need to mingle more, interact more.
Right.
So that how long can they sit in front of a computer and learn? How long can they watch a TV? How long can they go through a mobile or a video game? Or how long will they speak to the elders or at times there are no siblings also in some families.
Right.
So it's something like the interaction between the same age group is not happening, and certainly that will somewhere stress them a bit, because if they're not allowed to go out and hang out or go out somewhere, they're not able to interact with the fellow age group.
Right.
So certainly it's going to affect them emotionally a little bit. Because
Right.
they have been asked to stay indoors and study indoors. So certainly, yes, it's going to affect them emotionally.
Yes, also Mr. Satish, I have heard like when I spoke to few of the students, like college students, it may be college or school students, they were telling me that they are in depression because they are not going out. And come on, imagine a school student or a college student getting into depression is like, we can't even imagine that.
Yeah, the younger students
At this
going into
tender age, undergoing depression or anxiety attacks is something different. It's something new to them.
because students going into anxiety and depression is quite alarming because that will certainly what you call affect their mental and physical health as well.
Exactly.
Because that time they won't have food, they won't lead a normal life.
Exactly.
So parents should be slightly slightly more careful and allow them to at least go out in a week or twice. If not, getting yourself housed in one room or one house, it's going to affect you because you're not able to go out. Earlier, what happened? You are allowed to go out, you are allowed to meet people, allowed to interact with everyone, friends.
Right.
But everything is cut down now. Everything is limited. Access is there.
Right.
You can't go out. You can't go for a walk or you can't meet friends. Can't talk to them.
Right.
Can't attend some seminars, attend some parties. Nothing.
Yes.
So I understand it's the need of the hour is to stay away
Right.
from crowded places, maintain social
distancing, yes.
not go out frequently. But yes, keeping maybe a day you can allow children to go out along with parents with all precautions,
Yes.
so that they will mentally be relaxed, mentally be prepared to seeing the
Right.
outside world, seeing friends from a distance, talking to them.
Right.
However technology savvy we are, we have to be used to going out and meeting people from a distance, see each other at distance.
Right.
This is what this phenomenon of online teaching
Right.
is the old concept in Western countries and the US. But this is absolutely a new concept in India.
Right.
It's something like, as per the need of the hour of the pandemic hitting our country as well,
Right.
we have to use this option of going online and learning online. But before this pandemic had hit India, there were only limited the people going for online teaching.
Right.
Because everything was done on blackboard or students sitting in a classroom and doing. But now things have changed. So yes, it will certainly take some more time because people are doing it online. But it will certainly take some more time, about 6 months or 1 year, to completely get used to online. Yes, the parents and teachers and students are doing it slowly but steadily. But
Right.
yes, it takes some time more.
Yes, also Mr. Satish, as many parents, students and also teachers are turning to online education technology. What do you have to say about this? Is it safe to them?
In terms of safe, yes, it is safe to some extent, not because you talk about Zoom, you talk about some meeting apps where you meet with 4 to 6 people, a meeting is conducted or a class is conducted.
Right.
At times, the government also had told it to not use certain apps,
Right.
which are probably made from some other countries or developed from other countries.
Right.
But looking at the need, as I've told you, we have to use this app, for example, Zoom to meet
Right.
Zoom to meet your manager or your colleagues or your students. These apps have to be downloaded, and there's no other option because certain schools are even planning to develop their own app
Right.
so that it is friendly, it is more secure. They know how many people are logging in. There is no option of an outsider logging in my name and saying a student of the school.
Right.
So yes, this is going to be a regular phenomena for at least some more years
Right.
till we not see a surge in the COVID cases and a vaccine is completely ready. This is going to go for a complete online teaching for some more months or maybe years. We never know.
Right.
So yes, schools are also looking at all options to see that the data what students give is not leaked out, and keeping the security option also, keeping that in mind. In some schools, as I've told you, have already started to develop their own app where the credentials of the students, the parents and teachers are safeguarded and not being leaked out. But yes, at times there is some alerts from the government as well to not use certain apps which can take away our data, or maybe our data is stolen away and our data information is out on some other domain.
Right. Also, Mr. Satish, well, as we are talking about the reopening of the schools, as some schools have already started and they are planning to start the schools. So there is a new normal now, like, using sanitizers and social distancing. What do you have to say about the students who have to be normal, like new normal? They do not get adjusted with these new things, right?
It's really the students, the parents are more anxious, more I should say the word worried when the kids go out in
Right.
this particular time to school. For example, for kids who are younger, for example, kids, the lower classes, or maybe until the standard of 4th and 5th.
Right.
The government is also willing to open up schools in some states.
Right.
But it all depends on the situation. In case there's a vaccine out or manufactured at the end of 2020, or maybe
Right.
at the earliest of 2021 for any of the countries, including India as well. They
Right.
can certainly school the opening of schools. But yes, if the government is ready to open the schools, the question arises: how many parents are ready to send the kids to the school?
Exactly. Don't you think the schools are reopening so early?
Depending on the situation, now it's very clear that we have to live with this virus for some more years. It's going to be a normal life with this virus only.
Right.
So depending on that, the education department also has decided an option of opening schools in a phased manner. Maybe they start with 8th class or the 9th class, the elder students first, then come slowly to 7th and 6th. So that time they can probably educate the students how to go about maintaining social distancing, having all the COVID precautions at school, and even detecting in case any of the kids who have the symptoms of COVID symptoms asked to stay back at home. So yes, it's a plan in the pipeline of the government as well, planning to open up schools. But how well, for example, the Andhra Pradesh government was planning to open up schools in mid-October.
Right.
So, but there's a rider there.
Right.
Depending on the situation, if the situation is easy, cases are not on the surge, the cases are not rising.
Right.
Yes, the government might go ahead and open schools in a phased manner starting from 10th or 9th, because elder students are aware of the pandemic. They know how the situation is.
Exactly.
Plus, they
Whereas
would be under
talking
the
about
guidance
the
of the teachers and the principal. So yes, if the option of opening up schools that will happen in a phased manner, so that can be opened, but keeping in mind as a COVID precautions.
Right. Well, finally, Mr. Satish, I would like to ask you how students can maintain their mental health while engaging in these online classes.
The only way of maintaining the mental health is to be normal, have a normal routine as you used to do it in school days, getting up early, having things as a normal, doing your projects, having food very regularly, very importantly, not taking too much of stress at times of going online. Maybe at times the student is not ready to take the case online. He is not in a mood to sit for a class online. So there are chances they used to happen that a student is not ready to go to school today. So there are more chances also students not ready to take an online class today.
Right.
So that is the time when parents need to counsel them, not force them to sit for an online class, probably find out what is happening with them, because the parents' role is also very important here.
Right.
They need to look at this new way of learning very closely, counsel them, sit with them in case they're not able to catch up with the subject, trying to get in touch, get back with the teacher, and ask what is he or she not understanding, and try to not put more stress on the students now. So what students, what teacher, what parents more keen is this: my kid is missing out something.
Right.
He should be on par with other students. Yes, he has to be with par with other students.
Right.
Don't put more stress on the students as if now, because students at this age, at 15, 16, tend to take some major steps in case you put more stress on that.
Definitely.
So yes, we have to monitor them, how are they doing it, not put more stress on them, give them the regular things what they used to do, give them the space, the time to do their hobbies as well. So keeping this in mind, that will certainly reduce the stress and give the time for the students for themselves.
Right. I agree with you, Mr. Satish. Well, thank you so much for joining us on live.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being on your channel and speaking and giving my input.
Thank you.
So
Thank
much.
you, Satish. Well, moving ahead, verify all hyperlinks. If you have doubts, look at the domain in the URL and also online search engines to verify it independently. Well, before clicking link sends to you, hover over the link with your mouse arrow and ensure it is taking you to the intended website.